Hi, this is Stacy with Gooseberry Bridge Farm, and today I am going to do a flower field tour. It has been a while since I've done this, and I probably should have done it a few weeks ago before it stopped raining and before I stopped weeding, but here we are. It's a chicken. There's a chicken in here. That's not supposed to be here. Get out the gate, chicken. I guess it would help if I close the gate, but the chicken's not supposed to be here. Go back home. Okay, so it is early August, and right now I'm taking weeds that I just pulled and bringing them over to the goats. Not just any goats, our brand new babies born yesterday. Actually, their mama. The babies are too little for weeds. Babies! Not quite 24 hours old. It's so cute. Where's the other one? Oh, this one tried to jump. All right, so it's been a few days. I got a little sidetracked on this video, flower field tour. I am currently dealing with our powdery mildew outbreak from, let's see, hot, warm, humid, but no rain weather. That's what seems to be the perfect storm for powdery mildew. It's the worst we've had in a long time. Usually when it stops raining, it's dry weather wise, and this year is really humid and hot and not too hot. Like, it's not hot enough to dry it out. It's been in the 80s anyway, except for that week that it was 100, but I will show you. So zinnias are particularly susceptible to powdery mildew. This one is a volunteer in my celosia row, and I did learn today that it does not jump species. So what I am doing is using my sprayer here and spraying a diluted hydrogen peroxide solution on some of my plants, especially like this one is kind of a little far gone, but I'm using it as an example. You can also use milk. I was a little hesitant to use milk this time because I'm afraid it's going to make it worse, because if it doesn't dry, not this worse necessarily, but something worse, because if it doesn't dry, it can make mold and whatnot worse because it's milk. And you have to get every side of every leaf. But you can see it actually even looks better after spraying it, because the spores kind of go away when they get wet, which is why if it rains, it kind of keeps it under control. But then the spot leaf, spot fungus stuff that looks like this here gets worse when it rains. So here we are. This year it's powdery mildew killing my plants instead of something I can do absolutely nothing about. Anyway, so as part of the flower field tour, we have celosia. It is gorgeous right now. I've got some really fun colors from my seeds I've been saving for years. So really, I don't know, unique looking. And then I've got these more normal looking ones, these guys. I usually plant a little more. I have a row of marigolds here that is falling over. This was my first succession and second succession of marigolds. This should be the aisle between these two white hoops. They just, whatever I plant in that row falls over. There's netting, it doesn't matter. There's my field cat, Pluto. This row is weeds and Malabar spinach, and this is Malabar spinach. It's not supposed to be here, no idea. And status, and the status is trying to make a little bit of a comeback after our heat wave, and I did weed it a little bit this week, and I'm mostly given up. So I don't think I've ever done an August flower field tour video before. I usually do July before I completely want to tear everything out and be done. See how bad the powdery mildew, another volunteer celosia. So, okay, I guess we had a volunteer zinnia in the celosia row. So this is a volunteer celosia in the zinnia row. But the powdery mildew is getting pretty bad in here. Here, you can see it over here. Like the leaves look white, it's so bad. This is an older succession on this side. Then this one is a newer succession, but it's really just as bad. It's really just, it's horrible. But I'm gonna try to spray it so that it doesn't keep spreading to the other ones. This is a slightly newer succession. Down here, it's not as bad. The spray might actually prolong its life. And then, let's see if we can keep walking. We've got a new succession of cosmos just starting here, and these bright lights cosmos that are going strong. Over here, I have straw flowers, and I also have more zinnias. And these I just finished spraying. They just barely have any powdery mildew compared to the other ones. So I'm hoping they will make it a little bit longer so we can stay open. This is my single stem sunflower successions. There's one here. That's some really old, those were branching sunflowers that bloomed in June, and they're still there because there's still some seeds for the birds to eat. This is a mixed row, new succession of marigolds, new succession of bright lights cosmos, regular cosmos, and some zinnias that aren't getting powdery mildew. And then these also, it's starting to spread from this zinnia row to that one, and then we've got another row of sunflowers over there. So, Pluto. Anyway, this pretty much is all that we have in the front field. We've got this whole row of hairy balls milkweed that is just absolutely gorgeous right now. You can see why they call it hairy balls milkweed. Those are the seed pods. Once it gets a little more mature, you can cut it and use those seed pods. I planted it for the monarchs primarily, but they're not here this year. It's really depressing because I've been planting more and more milkweed every year, and seeing less and less monarchs, because that seems to be the direction we're going. I'm really hoping they show up on their way back to Mexico this year, and we'll see. Usually in September they come through on their way back, but I have all this milkweed for them if they do. Somebody tell them. So this row this is the other side of that zinnia row. There's actually some more milkweed right there in the front, that big plant there. I just let it grow there because it's there, you know, monarchs. And I have a lot more of that in my driveway. This is my first succession of amaranth still here. And then there's the older cosmos down at the end. The next couple rows here there's another type of milkweed and a lot of weeds. That is Tweedia milkweed, and it is very, very short this year. Anyway, back over here. This row is my yarrow, bee balm, and coneflowers. They're pretty much done. And then the row on the end is where I let things reseed, like Orlea, Nigella, and I also have some Gomphrena planted down there, and it looks horrible this year. This is where my lavender used to be, and it all died over the last 2 winters. Yeah, this is turning into a depressing tour. So we just kind of ignore this bottom part. There's the status down there, these 2 rows that are done, lavender that's dead, and we're gonna focus on the pretty stuff. Here, I mean, again, look at these, they're so cool. Okay, this row was my Amobium, or winged everlasting, and it is pretty, but it is kind of mad about the heat and needs to be deadheaded. And then the other half of the row was supposed to be sunflowers, but most of them died in the last heat wave. So no sunflowers for the end of, or middle of September. Well, we'll have 5. Okay, so back here we have more bright lights cosmos, more regular cosmos. This was succession 2, I believe. A big patch of weeds, and all of that was spring stuff. We have all that Rudbeckia triloba. This is our regular Rudbeckia, which actually did really well this year. It's still got some usable stems on it. There are some snapdragons and some scabiosa over there that are trying to hang in there, and new successions of celosia. And then back here, this is our non-U-picked area. And actually, look at this. This was my calendula, which was gorgeous this spring, and it is coming back, which it does in the fall. So I just didn't cut it down. I deadheaded it all, I don't know, a while ago. Didn't weed it. I just left it here, and now there are flowers on it. So, I mean, they're not going to be usable for cut flowers, but they will be usable medicinally. Here we have some regular volunteer celosia, but also all of my coxcomb. This is a variegated coxcomb, and it's my favorite. And then I have these giant brains that are just so gorgeous, and I need to harvest more of this, but I really like using these smaller ones in bouquets. I have a lot of those too. And like this plant is just going nuts, making these cute little fans with the variegated celosia, and these guys are really cute also. So I'm probably gonna plant more of this next year. It took forever to get going, but I really like it. Dead space here where I didn't plant anything. And then back here, we're gonna come see how the floret zinnias are doing. They are really pretty, and I need to bring back some, I don't have anything focused today. There we go. I need to bring some nets, bags back here. I'm gonna bag some flowers to save seeds. I had my lysianthus here, but they're pretty much, I'm not sure what happened actually. I need to weed them. They might come back. I don't know. The weeds this year are insane. It's really just grass. But see, look at this one. This one was too short to really do anything with, but it's so pretty. I need to deadhead the rest of these, but that one, it's so cool. Look at that. I've just been holding that for myself because I only have one. Another succession of marigolds over there, little mini succession of zinnias, and then I have a little bit of celosia from Floret. This is the Dusty Rose celosia. I'm not super impressed with that, but I really, really like the sponge sugar, which is all of these guys. I got some orange that's just coming on. It will get much bigger, and it's really neat. And I've cut a bunch of pink off already. All right, so this back here does not appear to have powdery mildew, so I probably shouldn't touch anything. I probably got the spores on my clothes or something, but their birds have been after these because it's in the very back of my field, like right against the tree line and right next to my sorghum room corn that I'm growing. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to use that for anything because it's huge, but we've got some really pretty pastel zinnias back here. And like this guy, I did not do a good job of keeping track of what is what, but I really like this plant. I think this is the App and Glow by Floret, but I'm not positive. But I bagged one so that the birds wouldn't eat the seeds, because this is what they're doing. They're stealing the seeds, the petals. They're just pulling them right off. So I was gonna bag them. I don't really care if they cross-pollinate. There's another one. But I do care if the birds eat all my seeds, because I wanted to try just growing them again and see what I get. That one, really, really like this plant and this plant. This one is a unicorn zinnia, my favorite. One of my favorites. I just said that other one was my favorite. I really need to deadhead the marigolds. Oh, why every time I look around? Blurry. Anyway, this guy. This is so pretty. Or girl, I don't know. I'm not sure what knocked down these. They're supposed to be in the netting. I should cut that one, and this one, it got knocked over. I need to deadhead them. But you can see the ones that I did use and cut. They're in the weeds, they're tiny, and they're starting to get branches. I don't know if they'll be good for anything, but they're doing something. pretty much concludes the flower field tour. I was really worried this year was going to be absolutely horrible for bugs. We had a really mild winter, and early on bugs were crazy, but it hasn't been that bad. The thing that has been weird this year is that everything is about 3 weeks early, including this, the level of destruction of my zinnias. But there's not much we can do. I'm just hoping that they hold out till later in September.